Good morning. So, I want to talk about how our words are magic and our words are constantly creating our reality within our minds and our reality without. They are constantly reinforcing whatever it is that is in our mind. They are a projection of the way that we see the world, the way that we think about the world, the way that we understand the world. They are a representation of the mindset that we are sitting in, of the perspective that we see the world through, of the way that we think, of all of our makeup, whatever you say has to come from the seed of thought. You cannot say something without a basis for where that came from, and it comes through what your conscious thoughts are, and also what your unconscious thoughts are, your subconscious, whatever is inside of your belief system that is like running the show. It's like you have this motor that is pushing your life forward, which is your belief system, and then you're at the steering wheel, and that's the conscious mind, right? That the conscious mind is like, okay, let's go over there, but you have this motor that is pushing you forward. And I want to speak of the importance of the words that you allow yourself to say, because when you are consciously aware of what you are saying and what words you are choosing, then you are a conscious creator. And not only that, it is a key when you are able to, because this is something in the physical world, right? This is the first manifestation. This is a vibration that is a low enough vibration to be manifested. Your voice, yeah, the sound is a low enough vibration for it to be physically manifested into the physical world, but it's not something you can grasp. So it is like one of the first manifestations. And if you can catch something as soon as it's coming out of your mouth and listen to it and be aware of it, then you can also be aware of where it came from in your mind. So it is the first clue to unlocking your subconscious, but it is also a way for you to reprogram your subconscious, and it is also a way for you to come into that awareness of being present in the now, because you are paying attention to what you are saying. And another aspect of this is when you are saying something, you are reprogramming whatever it is that you are saying. So you're reinforcing whatever the belief is. So we can use our words also to change our belief, because when we say something, we are saying it in our own voice, which is the voice that we know the best in the universe, because it's the voice that is always with us. It is a integrated part of us. It is a representation of us. And we trust ourselves to an extent, right? There's always that subconscious of mistrust of ourselves. But whenever we say something, we believe it, and we are saying it in the voice that we hear the most. It's going back into our ears, into our mind, reinforcing that cycle of whatever that belief is. And when we choose words, right, because we know that everything is on a spectrum. So I'm going to get into the point of this video. We know that everything is in a spectrum, just like our archetypes, right? There's the weaknesses and there's the strengths. There is lack and there is abundance, right? And lack is a perception, because there is no lack. If the universe is made up of ones, which is existence, and zeros, which is non-existence, then the universe is only made up of what is in existence, and what is in existence is getting contrast from the zeros, right? So it's like light and dark, um, um, white and black, strong and weak. All of these different things come that have two sides of their existence, right? Two sides of being, different ways of being. Now, when we choose words that are empowering, choose words of abundance, of is, rather than words of lack, we are there's see it as like in the middle there. You could see it as like a weight, right? In your life you have this a weight, And whatever you put more stones into is what is going to get more value in your life, is what is going to create. You're going to have more substance of that within your life. So when you speak of what is, what you do want, use words of abundance. And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to explain this further. When you get into it to words of abundance, the words of existence, then it brings more of that and more awareness to that in your life. And you do that through your words. Your words you can see as a portal into your subconscious. Your words is a way for you to consciously understand what is in your subconscious, and to program your subconscious through the words that you speak, right? The words are coming out of your mouth into your ear and creating that cycle into your mind, into your consciousness, into your way of being. Not only that, when you speak positive words and when you speak words of abundance, it is a pleasure to be around you, because you are reminding others that are around you and in your life and in your energy field, that of what is, of possibilities, of their abilities, of wonder, of grace, of love, of uh, pure abundance, right? So when you are focusing on what isn't, and you're in that negative mode, you could see it as there's a tipping point in the middle, right? And there's a balance in life, right? And or that there is ground level. What's above ground level is in the positive. What's underground level is the negative. So you could see it as a flower blooming into the positive and a flower closing in the negative. So if you are speaking words of lack, you're bringing your attention to what is not in existence. So you're not creating anything. You are creating the emotion of lack, of non-existence. That isn't, it's not empowering. It's not something that is allowing things to come into existence. Because if you have this strong belief and you keep reinforcing it with your words that there is lack, I can't do this. This isn't an option for me. There isn't enough. I don't have money. I'm poor. My house is always a mess. Uh, uh, I can't figure that out. I don't want to learn a new skill. My car is old and is always breaking down. Your perception, even if your car only breaks down once a year, you are constantly dragging that belief along with you, and it's constantly weighing on you. Oh no, my car is going to break down any minute. So you're living it, even though it only happens once a year. Or and whereas when you say, my car is always taking me places, my car, I love my car. I love my car. I do. I love my car. My car is magnificent. It allows me to go to go places that my previous car didn't allow me. So I am able to go all the way up I take myself on a Jeep trip. I am able to go off road. My car is extremely reliable, and is comfortable for me, and perfectly attuned to me. And so when you speak those words, rather than putting your focus on the things that you don't want, the universe understands and seems to bring you more of that. Even if it doesn't bring you more than that, I'd say a lot of I find that a lot of people have a little bit of a difficulty to accepting the fact that we speak something and it comes into existence, but it's a very practical, because when you speak something, you live it, you feel that way, you understand that way. So you are attuned to that. So you notice more of that showing up in your life. So the creation process, if you are always saying, nobody likes me, and you go to a party and you're in this mindset, nobody likes me, you are not opening yourself to the opportunity of people liking you. And you're sitting you are actually bringing it into your existence, because you're becoming self-conscious. You're closing yourself off. Even if somebody comes and speaks with you and genuinely like you or want to get to know you, you won't be accepting of that because you don't believe, though. You start saying, okay, well, they have an alternative motive here. There's something going on here. You don't believe it for to be able to even see the opportunity and flower and bloom that flower of friendship. Because you are already closed off in your mind to it. So have you ever noticed that people that speak positive and have good things to say about aspects of their life, that it seems like they have a lot of things flowering in their lives and a lot of things taking off and a lot of things that are going well? Because when you are in the mindset of, and I'm not saying that there is no good or bad, right? So if you and all of us sometimes fall into those pit holes of poor me, look at my life, that is what gives us contrast for and appreciation for either or. We get contrast from each other, but it's a matter of choice. What do I prefer in my life? And I prefer personally to be happy. I prefer a lot of movement in my life because I have a lot of interests, and I understand that my life is just an experience, and I want to experience life as much as I can. I enjoy my relationships with people because I genuinely appreciate them and look for their good points and what I can learn from them and what they have to say that is interesting, and their little quirks, and it makes me laugh. And so I genuinely enjoy people, and because I genuinely enjoy them, they genuinely enjoy me. And even if it is enjoying me, enjoying them. So our words have so much magic in them when we are able to, a lot of times we're able to feel that emotion, but we don't know how to pull ourselves out of it. Um, and for the long haul, if we are paying attention to our words, first of all, it's going to do so much for our lives because it's going to bring us into the now. It's going to bring us into a very um, intentional life. When we are intentional with our words, the words that we choose, in the beginning, it may mean that we have to speak and think very slowly, which brings us into the present moment, which is also a a wonderful thing. It brings us into the now. It allows us to be present within our lives when we are particularly paying attention to anything. If I am inspecting this pencil to the T, I am perpetually in the now. I am in the now. Um, so even in that aspect, it already is adding to your life. But when you are able to bring the words that you use by choice into positive feeling emotions and into existence of things. So let's say I'm thinking, I don't have a car. It's such it's so annoying. I could turn that into, right? Because that's a push off point. I know what makes me not happy now. I know that I want a car. I want possibilities to go places. So then I start imagining that car and what kind of car do I want? And um, and then I will start noticing opportunity. I'll start noticing that car. I'll start noticing that car with for sale signs on it. I'll start understanding how much that car costs. It'll start leading me and progressing me slowly to receiving that car. Or I don't feel good, nobody likes me, means that I want meaningful relationships in my life that inspire me and make me feel good. And so then you can start looking at what relationships do I have in my life, what people do I have in my life that I like, and that I like what they do, and that I can appreciate them. And so you're looking at the is instead of the lack of. The lack of closes the flower. The looking at the one, what is in existence, what you do want, opens the flower. So if you are consistently and constantly bringing and tipping the scales over into what is in existence rather than focusing on the lack of, then you are tipping your life over into, even if you still have these emotions, you're still going to have these emotions, but on the scale, and your life scale, this is going to be way heavier than this. And so you're going to have far more of this than you have of this. This may still show up and give you some contrast, but you have far more of this. And a very simple way to do this, simple but difficult, right? Simple but hard. It's the easiest thing. Sometimes the most difficult things are the easiest things because it's thinking like a child. It is existence versus non-existence. If you want to live your life in existence, in prosperity, then you have to choose words that are in tune with that which vibrate, because each and every one of our words is like an archetype. It has meaning attached to it before we were even born. So it has like generations and generations and generations of baggage. You could see each word as its own entity, as its own archetype, its own entity. It has baggage of meaning attached to it. Not only the meaning that we give it and what it makes us feel, but generations of, when my great grandmother used the word scarcity, or then it still gave her that feeling, and that was passed through generation through generation through generation. And also the way that we perceive things is not ours, it's inherited. Our perspectives are inherited many times. There is of our own nature, but there is at least 50% that is inherited from the consensus of the society standard that we live in, what we were taught in school, how we're supposed to behave, uh, uh, how others perceive us, but they're perceiving us through their own filters. So, but we're adopting it, especially if somebody says something bad about us, something is looking at one of our faults that we don't like about ourselves. We take that, and we can take that, and we can turn that around in our minds for weeks. And forget weeks, we can turn that around in our minds for our entire life. And that will be detrimental. It'll be like a trauma that shapes who we are. And we're doing this without even noticing what we're doing. We don't even notice. But when we can come into control of our words, which is something that we can come into control of, if we come into the control of our words, is the first manifestation. It is the first words and actions, but typically words. We say something, we have now something tangible that we can look at and dissect and understand. Well, wait a minute, where did that come from? Why did I say that? What was the choice of words there? And a lot of times we can be really happy with ourselves. Oh, look at me. I'm choosing words that I can articulate really well. I'm choosing words that are positive and make me feel good. Each one of these words is an archetype, right? Each one of these words is like a power bomb you're bringing out into the world. It's a power bomb first for you, right? And once you create a word, once you say it, you have created it. You have put that word out there, and now it's like the butterfly effect. Right? It's an emotion, it's a vibration, it's a feeling. And first of all, it's a feeling within yourself. So if you're using words that make you feel rotten, you're going to start rotting. If you're using words that make you feel inspired and alive and artistic and wonderful and loving, you're going to be all that, because that's what it makes you feel like. So the emphasis is on choosing the words that you allow to come out of your mouth, and words that start coming out that are negative, that are, I can't, especially the words that we say about ourselves, because we're telling ourselves who we are. Use empowering words, even if sometimes it feels like we're faking it, and fake it until you make it. Look in the mirror every day and say what a wonderful person you are, how intelligent you are, and how loving you are, and how happy you are that you were born you, and what a wonderful body you have, and how accepting you are of yourself, and just choose the words that you use with intelligence, We have this mind that we can do things with intention, and that is the first manifestation. It is something that is tangible that we can look at, and we can dissect our own selves and reprogram our own minds with this. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for watching. This was a good one.